What's up, everyone? Welcome to another live. I've got a huge smile on my face because that just grooved so well. Everyone, we're here with, of course, Jerry Adolphe and his buddy. I'm going to turn my speakers up here. And his buddy, Dennis Marcinko. Is that correct?
That's it.
Right.
Yes, I remembered. Amazing bass player, and you guys have been friends for quite a while. You guys played with each other for quite a bit.
Years, yeah.
That's late 70s. Late 70s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys are like brothers in the musical.
Well,
Yeah, hey.
yeah. We've done a lot of sessions together.
Before we do continue, tell us some of the projects you've worked on, some of the bigger acts that you've kind of recorded with.
In Calgary, I met a guy named Gay Delorme, and through working with Gay, I got to work with Katie Lang's band, and so I did the beginning of her career from small bars to Johnny Carson. After that, I played with Colin James, a local blues guitar player, and saw a few continents with that guy, opening up for bands like ZZ Top, Keith Richards. That was a cool one. Keith Richards and his Expensive Winos on the first tour. So that's good. And stuff
cool.
like that. Since then, been moving into country a lot, because country these days is nothing more than Def Leppard with fiddles. And so having a rock background, moving into country, meeting Jerry, and the last 15 or so years or 20 years being in the studio, doing lots of studio stuff.
Lots of stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, guys. These are the two that are going to bring you a lesson today on playing with a bass player. Realistically, rhythm section is drum and bass, and you guys have to communicate with each other. You have to be on the same page. So this is a very important lesson, and who better to give us some advice than Jerry and Dennis. So before I get into this lesson, because we have a lot to talk about, I just wanted to bring up a couple formalities. First off, am I still there? Yeah, good to go. First off, we are going to give away stuff like usual today. We've got another drumstick Drumeo bag here. Perfect for your sticks with custom embroidered Drumeo logo on there. Okay, we also got a drum rudiment system pack to give away. Okay, and what we're going to do, we're going to take comments from the YouTube video, because we're going to upload this video on YouTube on Wednesday, this coming up Wednesday, and what we're going to do is we're going to take random comments from there. Whatever it is you want to say, hopefully it's positive, but leave your comments below the YouTube video, and I will select a couple random winners there once we get that all done, and next week we will give those away. I'm also going to give away a couple Drumeo memberships as well, so everybody participate. It's not that hard. Just go to YouTube, find this video once we've uploaded it. And if you have any questions about the lesson coming up, please leave them right now. Any Drumeo members, more than welcome to ask any questions you have, because this is going to be a pretty loaded lesson. Cool? I wanted to be as quick as possible because there's a lot you guys want to talk about. So.
Yeah, okay, yeah. First of all, I want to talk to you about the sound. Ain't nothing like the sound of the high end of that kick drum with a nice, fat, low bass sound, right? And the lesson here today, I'm going to start with showing you, I'll play with that bass pattern, and then I'll play outside that bass pattern. But I just want to show you what it's going to sound like here. The first feel we're going to do in the country thing is called singer-songwriter, and it's a basic country feel, and they call it singer-songwriter because it's usually the first program they find on their new drum machine.
Yeah.
And Dennis is going to start it here, and it'll be like 2, 3. And I want to play exactly that. That feeling, right? And then keep going. Now I'm going to play outside of that now. I'm going to still imply that, but I'll play a little outside that I'll show you. And that depends on the section of the song I'm doing. You know, if I'm playing a verse, if I'm doing a B chorus, yeah, awesome. Notice the difference, but that feel that he's playing, that fat feel, is still implied. I made Kelly do it by myself once. From there to here. All right?
So basically what you were saying is just playing with him right away. Like, first thing you did was you locked him with exactly what he was playing.
Yeah, you lock in to like, you know, usually a first verse and stuff, you know, you're playing exactly what he's playing.
Yeah.
Just keep it clean so you can hear the lyrics.
Yeah.
Start opening it up a bit, you know, for solos and stuff like that. That's what you do the other way, you know. Or move to the right, right?
So even though you're playing the same pattern on the bass riff, you're kind of moving it in outside of it, but keeping that same foundation there, I guess.
Yeah, you betcha. And now I'll play it simple, and I'll let Den play a few more notes. Okay, so 2, 3. Okay, yeah. So that's the difference. He can move outside of me sometimes, you know?
Now, the biggest question that I get from a lot of drummers is when you're coming up with that pattern, is it the bass player that says, this is the rhythm I'm going to do? Or is it the drummer that picks the rhythm?
Both of us. Both of us. We got. I've got a lesson coming up called Studio Prep, and I'll show you on the charts when I do that lesson. Usually we talk about it. What do you figure? Let's do. And on the chart, the first verse, I'll say, how about vom, vom here? Or he'll say, how about bum, 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 and we'll listen to the lyrics. And okay, let's do this, and just write it in.
Okay. Well, the song is being played in the control room, and all the musicians are standing around, and usually I'll find a spot beside Jerry, and these guys might be talking about, okay, you take guitar fills in verse 1, and him and I are talking, okay, here's the feel.
Okay.
We have our own little section.
Yeah.
While we're listening to the demo, we'll go, what do you think here? What do you think here? Right?
Yeah.
Next pattern I'm going to do is the same along those lines, right? And me and Dan, I call it a lope, you know, a nice lopey thing. And it's usually for, I think I've also called it like a young ballad, young country ballad feel. And it starts with, the bass pattern is boom, 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 down, 2, 2, 3. Call it a lope.
I see, yeah.
You know? No.
Yeah.
And now I'll play outside of that a bit. Okay. Now the same lope for like a different pattern of the song would be no. Outside of that, see.
cool.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Any questions from you on that, Dave? You want to move?
Well,
Talk about anything?
Yeah, the first thing that comes to my mind is that, and this is pretty obvious for anybody who doesn't notice, but you're basically following his bass riff with your bass drum.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it's all about, and it's what I first said about the sound of that. It doesn't make sense when you hear a bass player and a drum player playing two different things, right? You don't get that sock.
Do you want to maybe show an example of what that would sound like?
Okay, let's
it might be hard for you guys to play.
It's going to be hard for me to do that.
Yeah.
How about then?
I can play poorly.
You can play poorly. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah. If you play like, okay, we're doing a funk, right? And I'm you're playing.
Oh.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah.
I'm like straight eight. So
sure.
2, 3. Now you can play with it. That's the difference.
Totally night and day.
That's the difference, like that makes you want to turn into Mos Def.
So when you're a drummer,
Yeah.
you're trying to play a song and you're listening to the pattern, and a lot of drummers don't listen to the bass verse, listen to the riff, listen to the vocals, they listen to the piano part. A lot of drummers, believe it or not, they don't listen to the bass verse, and they'll play a pattern just like that over top of something with straight eights.
Yeah, so important. And you know what? I was lucky. I guess when I was younger, right away I liked the sound of that kick drum with the bass. Right, that's what did it. Right,
Yeah.
I had to hit my right.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't we move on to some? Let's move on to some Latin, maybe. Okay?
Let's do it. Yeah, for sure.
Same thing with the Latin groove. Playing it real straight. Like if Den was going, and it said. That's what the kick's gonna do if I'm playing real straight, right? And then, okay, so he keeps doing that. I'll play 4 on the floor here, right? So. Stop for a second. What I just noticed, and these lessons are good for me too, is I'm still catching those accents, but one's here and one's here. So I'll play 2, 3. Keep going, Dan. Still catching the accents. Subtly, right? Okay.
Very cool. And one thing that I don't know if you heard because you were playing and talking, I'm not sure if it came through or not, but you said you're either you're still hitting those accents that the bass player was hitting,
Yeah.
that Dennis was hitting there. It's just you're hitting it not with your kick sometimes, with your
Yeah.
snare.
How about we break it down? 2, 3, 4. And then we talked about feel on that one lesson.
Yeah.
I'll start throwing in some gray stuff. 2, 3. Right?
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Now, when you guys are getting together, like, how important is it to be? Because I know when you're sat right next to him right now, you have eye contact pretty
Left
clearly.
side or here. I got to see him.
I want to be by the hi-hat mostly.
Okay.
And sometimes if I'm not looking at him, if I'm looking at the crowd, if I'm close there, I can feel it. You can feel the sound of the drums and the cymbals beside you.
Yeah.
Being close is a good thing.
Is there a specific reason why you like being on the hi-hat side usually, or?
You see the kick, and you see...
Oh, yeah. You were talking earlier about that, Dan, about what you would like to see in the studio maybe sometimes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it would be really nice in a studio, when I'm looking at a musical chart, I don't know how we could do this, but to have some sort of video monitor behind the chart with a kick drum. So when you're, because it's sometimes hard if the chart's a bit complex, you can't look over at the kick all the time.
Yeah.
But if it was always there, so if any of you guys are good with inventions, send me one.
That sounds good. And you were even saying you sometimes even watch the bass drum head if you can't quite clearly see.
Yeah, if I'm in front of him, I will see the head move, the front head.
So that's why you're also half a step behind me.
Oh yeah, right, sure. And another thing too, in a live situation, the hi-hats have to be in the moment. Because you walk away milliseconds apart. Now you're not really locked in.
So you said have to be in the monitor?
Always think. Yeah. Get hi-hat in the monitor.
If it's a big stage, and a lot of times on a big stage, especially if it's a young performer, they're up there, and if they don't have that in their monitor, they're singing behind the band all night, and it's brutal sometimes,
Yeah.
But I was going to talk a bit about the eye contact.
Yeah, sure.
After playing with that guy for so many years, I just got to go, hey, or like, well, whatever, right? And we know what lick we're going to do at that point. Yeah. Like, this in a live situation,
Yeah.
And it just works.
You guys have obviously had the luxury of playing with each other for so long. There's a lot of people out there that meet a band for the first time or for an audition. They don't know that bass. They don't have that connection yet. So I guess eye contact is pretty important.
Well, yeah. And a lot of them don't know that it's heads up. All the time there's some... I hear quite often of a young drummer playing with a group who wasn't watching all night. And just like, boy, that's... I'm still pinned to everyone when I play now, right?
Absolutely. And soloists, because sometimes you'll have a chart that says, okay, the solo's going to go through twice. Well, maybe. They might carry on.
Yeah,
and so in that case, watch.
Watch.
Watch them for the heads up,
Yeah, cool. You had some other styles that you wanted to
Yeah, sure. How about we do, we'll go into some shuffle stuff now. I remember we were doing that Killer Joe kind of shuffle things. So then we'll start this.
Yeah.
And what I'll do is I'll play straight with it, and then I'll play with some accents more swingy.
Okay.
What kind of tempo you want?
2, 3, 4. And my kick. Right? The bass is up there. Yeah. And went from playing straight shuffle to more of a swing shuffle. So maybe let's show them the difference. We'll do like a funk and then after that we'll do like an upswing.
Okay.
Okay. So 2, 1. No, bump, dum, dum, swing like California. Wow. 2, 1, 2, 3.
That's awesome. The one thing I noticed right away, being a drummer myself and listening to you play, the one thing that I feel so good in this room, just listening to these two groove, and you're not doing a lot of fancy stuff. You're not doing a lot of fancy fills. What makes it lock in or sound so good is you're just locking in together.
Yeah, it's that feel.
Yeah.
It's that feel. Like, and like I've done a lot of lessons here for you.
Yeah.
Right away with the bass playing, right when you're playing, it just locks it all in, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you're, correct me if I'm wrong, but your number one focus when you're in a singer-songwriter or you're in a group where, the bass player or whatever, your number one focus is locking in with him.
Lock in with him, and also, like, especially in the studio, like a lot of times we'll speed up or slow down a track. If either one of us feel the singer's rushing his words a little, can't get him out, let's pull it back. Like, and it's really funny, a lot of times one or two beats make such a difference. Let's boot it up one beat, and to say if it was you boot it up one beat, it just bounces a little better, you know.
Yeah, and you guys got obviously on the same page for that. Can I try something?
Yeah.
Can I get you to play a riff, and I just want you to listen to it and tell us as a drummer and as the members here, tell us what you're listening for when you're coming up with a groove to that riff, and it just random, whatever you want to do, improvise. So Jerry, what are you thinking when you listen to this?
Okay, first thing is that tempo's hold.
Okay.
Right? And there is a bit of busyness going on with the bass underneath the bum 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 bum.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Right? But the thing I'm hearing, what's important is
that back.
Just pull the bit like if that's a beat, it's just behind center. Okay?
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like still having that.
Now do the same pattern again. Try and do maybe a little less or a little more, change it up a bit. How would you go about doing that without being too busy?
Okay, so he'll play it. I'll start by doing, like we'll play it a little quieter, and I'll play exactly what he's doing, and then I'll start opening it up. Okay?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And I didn't change a thing.
I know, I was listening. I was going to mention that.
I didn't change a thing.
Yeah.
And yet it was 6 different songs.
Yeah. And all you're doing, like I really like when you added a lot more bass drum in the little ghost in there.
Hey, and one kick.
Yeah.
You young buggers with your double kicks. Nah. Right?
There you go. Who needs double bass, right, Jerry?
Yeah. Okay, there's a couple more things we want to do. Actually, while I got the sticks here, we'll move on to some train
Yeah, sure.
stuff. And then out of the train stuff, I'll move, to the brushes doing the train stuff, and then we'll do some swing stuff with the brushes.
Sure,
okay?
yeah.
So, boom, dum, boom, dum, boom. So, I'm just going to show them what I'm going to do on the kick with the 2-beat country train feel, okay?
3, bow.
Exactly what he's playing. And then the different sections. I'll start adding some stuff. I'll go to the side stick.
Man, I was smiling halfway through. That was just too good.
Any questions about anything there, Dave?
We have a bunch of questions, but I want to get to those at the end.
Yeah,
I'd like to
nothing from you on that?
That was pretty self-explanatory. Basically, you're just keeping that 4 to the floor.
Yeah.
You have
Kind of, it's your pair, Diddle. But it's where you landed. It's where I put the accent. Okay, just so you know what that was.
Yeah. I loved it. Whatever it was, I loved it.
Okay, yeah. You'll just do one more thing for
Yeah,
you?
sure, yeah.
Okay, so these are called brushes. Yay.
Yes. Yay.
And they're well used. And in the old days, it was, okay, drummer, toss me a salad. Right? Right? So we're gonna do some. We're gonna do a shuffle. I'm not gonna do any jazz for you. I'm just gonna do some feel brushes for you. Okay? So boom, ba dum, ka dum, 2, 3. do some up now, and then we'll finish off our part with those with the trading thing.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So we'll do like a one.
Insane.
There we go.
I could do a whole hour-long lesson just with you two jamming. Who needs to teach anything, right? But two things I wanted to go over there. First off, what made you decide not to follow him when he was doing those eighth notes? Do, 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 do. Because you were playing on the quarters there. What made you decide not to do that?
When I start doing that?
Oh, your bass drum, sorry.
A part of a song, like a Texas swing. So he's playing, just play 1 and 3. When you're doing that. Now more space. Yeah, depends on who's taking a solo at that time.
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know, years ago doing a jam, you have 5 soloists on stage at the Yale, and someone calls it slow blues. And as a drummer, okay, for his first time, I'll play on the ride. For his second time, I'll play on the It's like, what do you do? Well, in a situation like an upswing like that, unless it's a drum solo, you change up the feel of it, you make it more subtle, and then you build it,
And I was also going to say, like, when you did your bass solo, you basically dropped off the map, but kept a little bit of time on the hi-hat.
Oh yeah, I'll show you just one thing here. So if we're doing an up funk. I'm saying when he's doing his solo.
So you drop out a lot of the bass drum, you let him
Yeah, like I'm just basically marking one of the bar.
And Dennis, to add to that, what do you hate when you're playing a solo and you're playing with a drummer that doesn't know what he's doing, or what is the one thing you hate when you're playing a drum solo or a guitar solo?
If I'm playing a bass solo, at the beginning of a bass solo, as a drummer, you have to play quietly. Just let me try to establish where this is going to go. So it might, some guys want to start off, when it's all thumb and slapping, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, the drummer can keep rocking with you.
Yeah.
But if I'm starting I'm not doing much there, but I'm trying to sing a song.
Yeah. I've got to be sensitive to what he's doing. So we'll start at 2, 3,
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I think if I were to ever give direction, and I don't usually give direction to drummers, I'm not a drummer, but let me have a little bit of space at the beginning and let me try to establish where we're going to go.
Yeah, and as a drummer, at that point, he's driving the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm there to accompany him. It's his semi at that point,
Yeah.
And I've got to be able to hear where he's going subtly. Maybe he's just adding a couple things here, and then I'll do a couple little shots.
Yeah.
But I got to be able, to hear the intensity that he's playing.
Yeah, because it might start quietly. It might go.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And furthering that, I would love to hear your opinion, Dennis, on what you like about certain drummers. Like, what do you look for in a drummer as a bass player? And I'll ask you the same question about a bass player after, but I'd like to hear your opinion on that.
Where's the beat going to fall?
Yeah.
Where is it going to fall? Because it has to be... a lot of drummers right now, and I think a lot of the young drummers have a bit of an advantage over we had when we first started out, because a lot of them are playing with a click track. And they're playing along with tracks. They're in GarageBand, they're in Pro Tools or whatever, and there's always a click there. When we were starting out, it wasn't that way. And so consequently, a lot of drummers had a lot of bad time. I think for a bass player, your time just can't be good enough here. Working with Jerry is the guy that I trust the most. And where you put the snare too, there's another one. If the snare is just a little behind, it's at the back end of the bar, then that makes more room for me, and I put a sound here, and the smack, it comes at the perfect time.
Yeah.
Good to know. And
yeah,
Jerry, what about you? What is one thing you look for in a bass player?
Well, it's the same thing as a bass player. Like if I'm doing a certain groove in the studio or live, he's got to listen, the intensity I'm playing.
Yeah.
And it's just staying out of the way of one another and doing this instead of that,
Yeah.
So there he is. There's the guy. I call it the sit. Yeah, like we do.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any better than that.
It's fun.
Like I said, I can just do an hour
Lots
next
of
time.
fun.
I just want to get you in and just jam the whole time. So the basic underlying thing that I see is just listening to each other is super key. I know I've been in situations where I play with a bass player who just does not even pay attention to you. He's got his own chart in front of him. That's what he's playing, and vice versa too. I've also been in a situation where the drummer, I've seen drummer, and I've actually been there too when I was starting out, where I knew this is the beat that I wanted to play because it's the beat from Chili Peppers, and I love that beat. Regardless of whether the bass player is going to play or not, I'm playing that groove.
I'm playing that beat.
And they just clash.
Because I spent hours learning it at home.
There you go.
Right. Got to show it off.
Got to show it off now.
Yeah.
But like I said, like what you guys are doing there, some of the stuff you're doing was pretty simple. You were playing, but it grooved so well together.
Yeah.
Man, I lived it.
Yeah, that's it, buddy.
So then you start putting a great guitar player, keyboard player on top of that.
On top of that stuff, who feel the same way about Pocket as we do. Yeah. And it's a thing of magic,
Exactly. Before we get into questions, was there any last little pieces that you guys wanted to play, or show us any examples or anything like that? Anything that came to your mind about just playing?
Yeah. why don't we do? I'm going to show you a thing as a drummer again. I'll do like a Bo Diddley bump, bum, dum, dum, bum, and I'll work in and out of that. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So. I was talking about your hands.
Yeah. Fantastic, man! Absolutely fantastic. And if anybody didn't catch that, what you were doing there, from what I saw at least, is you were following him with your bass drum for the most part, and then when you wanted to break it up, go into more of a top thing, you kept it forward to the floor.
Yeah.
But you still accented his shots with your hands.
Kind of like what I did earlier with the Latin stuff, right?
Yes.
Those are still implied all the time.
Yes.
And you know what? It's a tough thing, and it's just kind of something I just learned over the years. You know, it just. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
so let's get to some questions because I'm sure there's a ton of them out there. 1 second here.
Yeah, my wife. When are you coming home?
Yeah, right.
Bring milk.
Bring milk when you come. Okay, for everybody who's watching, if you tuned in a little bit late, we are still giving away stuff, and I have got a Drumeo stick bag, embroidered Drumeo stick bag to give away. I've got the Drum Rudiment System, which is a $200 course, and I've got 2 memberships to Drumeo, month-long memberships to Drumeo. And how you do that, just to let you guys know, we're going to upload this video to YouTube on the 27th of June, so this Wednesday. All you need to do is leave a comment. That's all it is. Say, I love Jerry. Say, I love Drumeo. Say, this is my favorite lesson. Whatever it is, I hope it's positive. But what I'm going to do is next week, the following Monday, which is July 1st, I believe, July 2nd, my bad. I'm going to announce the winner, and I'm just going to choose some random people in there. You're going to win free shipping and everything. So make sure you guys participate. YouTube.com. I think it's on the Free Drum Lessons channel from us. So check that out. Now, let's get to some questions here because this is a very loaded topic. We get people asking questions about this all the time. How do I play with a bass player? What am I looking for? So here's some questions for you. First one's from Captain Kickars. He says, as a bass player, we kind of talked about this already. Maybe you can just briefly go over it. What are 5 things you really want from your drummer? Not the obvious stuff, but outside the box. Maybe just a couple things. I know we just talked about this, but...
Wow. Keep it real steady. Keep it real steady. Make sure that when I stop playing for any reason, people in the room I can still see are tapping their feet.
Yes.
Keep it really, really steady. Geez, think outside of the box, huh? Yeah, do things differently as opposed to being just so predictable. If you're a predictable drummer, then you're going to sound like everyone else. And if you're a little more interesting, you may have noticed that Jerry was, like playing, snare, hi-hat, in a way that you may not see all the time. Mm-hmm. That's something that you're going to be able to accentuate a song and make it feel that much better and sell yourself. That's 2. Number 3, I don't know. It's getting more and more.
Those 2 alone were great. I mean, obviously you don't have to do 5 on the spot, but
no.
Just
Number
like
3. Make the drummer buy you a beer.
That's right. The drummer buy the beer. That's right. Oh, sure.
The drummer brings the beer. He'll always be called back.
That's right.
That's why I'm still getting gigs. I can't play, but I can bring beer. No, I'm kidding. Dirty Wendell says, "Hey guys, do you know?" This is a really good question, by the way. Yeah. Do you know which beats the bass player is playing that are the most important to make sure your bass lines up with? Seeing as the bass player and the drummer can play outside the main beat, is there a way to determine which accents they should be lining up with?
One,
or I guess in some cases reggae where it's two.
Yeah.
Two.
Yeah.
What's happening at the top of the bar? That's a big question. What's
Yeah.
happening at the top of the bar? And
What's happening here? Boom, flop, flop, top. Boom, right?
I'm going to export that audio and have that as my new ringtone.
But that's it, basically.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when we were trading those fours.
Yeah.
A lot of times on a big stage with a bunch of guys after, and what I hate is when a drummer's playing a solo and he just starts, I also 1, 2, 3, 4. So everyone knows where that is.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
down. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And I know with Latin stuff too, I mean, there's certain tumbao patterns and different kind of patterns that you play that are more important. But basically, make sure that one or what you say, the beginning of the bar's note is heard. Daniel J. Jones says, "Great lesson, guys. Best one yet." Awesome, Daniel. Thanks, Jerry and Dennis. Just wanted you to know that if Dennis plays drums at all. Do you play drums at all?
Very poorly. And I'm not that big a guy. I like carrying smaller objects.
Not like Jerry here, right? Yeah. Okay, sorry, I can't pronounce your name. Kripriotem says, Dave, a play along from the two. You guys can play us out. Is that all right?
Sure.
When we end the lesson, you guys are going to play us out. Just jam for as long as you want. Have some fun.
Why
It's
not?
going to be a blast. Okay, next question is from Casey. Not a question, just a comment. I am now Jerry and Dennis's biggest fans. You guys are awesome.
Right on.
Yeah, you guys do. You sound so good. And like I said, I feel honored to be able to sit in here and listen to you guys, to feel from the kit. And I don't know what it is. It just feels so good. So let me continue with some of these questions here. This one's from Vargas94. It says, how would it sound if the bass player is playing a polyrhythm over top of the drummer? That might be just like a different rhythm, I guess, over top.
Yeah. You know what? Let's see here. Let's try and figure something. Well,
We'll just do like a 3 or 4 thing. Just play a standard thing, and I'll try to see what he's asking.
and we'll reverse that. If you play 1, 2, 3, 4,
Huh.
I'll play in 3.
Okay.
2, 3.
Okay.
Got it, yeah.
That's what it'll sound like.
There you go.
You know what? I have to butt in. There's one thing I want to say.
Sure, go for it.
For I think it was Captain. I can't
Captain
remember his
Kickars.
name, and he said, think of the 5 things you want from a drummer.
Yeah.
I got to add this one, and this one I think might be the most important one. Play the song. Play the song. Quite often, a drummer, if he's young, or maybe just joining in, or maybe if you're tired of the format or the book that you've been playing for the last 2 years with the same singer, all of a sudden things get really inventive on stage, and then it makes my job so much harder because the drummer isn't playing
The song.
Pay homage to the songwriter and what
Yes.
the songwriter wrote.
Boy.
I can't agree with you more. That is
When you
huge.
want to experiment, you do it in the basement, not when you're getting paid to back someone up.
Yep.
Yeah, no kidding.
Exactly. You don't want to just be fill after fill after fill, or check out my new double bass pedals I bought.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. Jim Bridgman says, I really like to see more lessons like this. This is so cool. He says, as you guys know, I just started playing and I have been wondering what it would sound like with other musicians. After watching this, I can't wait to try. So you guys are inspiring. Very cool.
Fantastic.
Okay, this one's from Mean Mike. Says, please let Jerry know he's a great musician and his bass player is also, sorry, I can't remember his name, Dennis Marcinko.
Marcinko.
Okay, this one's from Dr. Pepper. Says, hey Dave, can we get these two awesome players to lay down a couple play-alongs? Their pocket is so tight. We're going to get them to play us out, and I definitely want to get you in again sometime, Dennis. I hope you're okay with that. Did you have fun so far?
Oh man, this is a great time. I mean, just being able to play with Jerry and actually we quite often we don't sit and talk about it.
Yeah,
we just do
it looks like
Yeah.
It ties a few things, together for me.
Yeah.
With his plan.
Yeah.
Too, because all of a sudden there we are. Like, hey Dan, why don't you come over? Let's jam. Nah.
No, hockey's on.
That's awesome. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna get a question here.
Yeah.
This one's from Trimmy. He says, "Hey guys, for fills, do you want the same locked-in feel between the bass and the guitar? Bass drum and the guitar. If there's no bass drum in the fill or the toms, or does it keep the groove going within the fill?" I guess he's just trying to say is during your fills, do you change your groove up? And as a bass player too, when he's playing a fill, do you change your groove up at all? But I guess that question goes both ways.
I'll solve this right now.
Yeah.
We'll play like a rock thing. Bum,
Sure.
bum, 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 bum,
3,
bum.
4.
And I'll do a fill.
Hey, do it one more time. Yeah, I'll play less to give him more room.
He's got to have the pulse going still there, right?
Yeah.
Right, like if I'm playing a fill.
Very cool. So if you guys didn't catch that, basically Dennis was saying sometimes he'll play the full way through, then other times he'll play half the notes.
I'll
Yeah.
play instead of like this. I'll go because a lot of focus is now on him. But I don't
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
And if I'm playing the same thing, now it's getting cluttered.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to. And the same thing is if he's playing bump, bump, bump. But this was actually on my lesson here. Sometimes with rock, 1 and 3, 2, 3, bump. Man, that hole is just so beautiful. 2, 3. And for a chorus. Oh, man.
Now play a fill with that. I wanna
Okay,
see
2,
what you do.
3.
So you didn't even play your bass drum at all for that fill. It was
No.
more just feel. And it's great because it broke it up. A fill is supposed to change the feel of the song a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
as a transitional piece.
But yet the
Set it
bass
up,
is still
it's
going.
like-
Bum, bum, bum.
It's
Exactly.
like winding the crank,
Yeah.
winding her up and letting her go,
Building that tension and then release with the
Then
bass
you
drum.
got it.
Perfect. Hopefully that helped you out, Trimmy. It definitely was a great answer, great demonstration.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This one here is from a drummer for Jesus says, "Is there ever a time when the drummer should lead?
Should what?
Is there ever a time where the drummer should lead?
Lead?
Lead, like maybe lead the feel, lead the tempo, lead the groove, or
Like
anything
play
like that?
faster or?
All he says is that. I'm assuming.
Well, lead to me means the drummer's always driving the truck,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Right. So let me give you an example here. Okay. So we're playing. Let's go that rock thing.
Okay.
And oh no, I know a good one. Quite often me and Dan will be doing a jam. Right?
Do that again. You guys didn't even look at each other. You guys just knew that
I
was
just held
happening.
up triplet.
Yeah.
Right?
No
2,
way.
3. Right?
Unreal.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of stuff. Or we'll be playing along, and the guy will be playing a solo, and we'll do the break. Okay, like I'll do it right before the 4. 2, 3.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that's what goes on stage.
So that's the
like,
lead. Oh yeah.
all the
There's a
time,
lead.
man.
Yeah. No kidding.
From me, or wrong.
Wrong. If I hit the ditch, I'm always wrong. He's like, thanks a lot, Jerry. Yeah, thanks a lot.
I
So you're
stopped
always-
doing that.
Jerry, so it seems like you're always leading, basically. You're
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the back yelling,
Oh, yeah.
throwing up the threes. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't even see it happen, did you?
I didn't even see it happen. All of a sudden, you guys nailed that part.
And another thing that only I do with all these guys that I play with is the ending, the fan ending. People will go, how do you know that's the ending? You must have rehearsed it. Right, and I'll show you what to do. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh! Right, whatever I play.
Gotcha.
Whatever I play. Or if I go...
So you give, and this goes for the whole other band, not just the bass player.
No.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. Everyone. A couple times after a few beer, we'll go...
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and of course the break song.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Now this is what I learned at a Legion years ago with those guys, and it would start like a fast swing, but our break song with everyone I play with, they just watch me, and whenever but they play anything they want.
Yeah.
So I'll go. Or
That's awesome.
anyways.
That was, I think, Drummer for Jesus' question. I hope that answered your question there, Greg. Because, like I said, that you're always in the leader seat, I guess, for yourself. Okay, here we go. Drum Jack 52. This is a question for you, Dennis. He says, how is the bass tuned, specifically the lowest pitch string? Usually it's E, A, D, G, low to high. How is your bass tuned? Because you got a 5-string there?
Same thing, but I got a 5-string.
Okay.
Playing country music a lot these days, you end up playing a lot of low. So this is a low B. B is in baseball, so B, E, A, D, G.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Cody Edwards says, hey guys, awesome lesson today. But when a bass player does a fill, do you just keep the beat or can you drum fill at the same time?
How about both? It's up to me. So
what about you as a bass player, Dennis? Do you like your fills to be alone? Do you care? Is it, I guess
it's how it feels.
I guess it's how it feels.
If it all of a sudden feels a bit herky jerky, then I'll just play a little less and patiently wait for it to be over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or like in the case with Jerry, I will try to add to what he's doing without wrecking the groove.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Gee, what kind of song would that be?
Yeah. And one thing too, okay, that feels. So your feel's gonna be. Yeah. You're gonna bounce it. You're not gonna go. So that's what they'll do.
I was going to say, it doesn't matter what you guys play, it's going to sound good anyway, so I guess there's no wrong answer there, because, I mean, you guys made that feel so good, both playing the fill, you know?
The thing is, if we're both tapping our foot at the same time, no matter what.
Yeah. You guys are always on the same page.
Yep.
Cool. Tinkata says, Jerry and Dennis, you guys are great. You need a longer session from you guys when playing with a new drummer / bassist. How do you start to develop the groove on a song, and then how do you decide how the groove should progress?
Well, as far as going with the groove, as far as it should progress, well, you still got to play the song, right? You still got to play a song for someone. Go as far as you can without being sloppy and getting away with it.
Yeah.
Of anyone else in the band, you know, like, I kind of call it finding your spots. Mm-hmm. So, say stuff like that. Your spots, but you got to keep that groove going, and don't ever do that when someone's trying to sing.
I was gonna say that was the key thing you said there is make sure you're not stepping on anybody else's heels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you got a song or singer.
And another thing a drummer
guitar
can't
player,
do
piano.
that a lot of guys hate, like say and a guy's playing solo like on guitar and he goes bam dam bam dam dam, right, and I go, oh, don't read their mail.
Yeah, don't read their mail. I like that.
Don't read their mail. It's his solo. You can catch the end of it, right, or something like that. But some guy will play everything the guitar player's playing. It's just, you know.
And the worst part about that, Jerry, is the drummer probably thinks he's doing a good job.
Oh, exactly.
Complimenting the
I did it
guitar
too when I
solo.
first started. Wham, wham, beer balls.
Yeah.
Cool. You guys, we're out of time. It's 5:02 already.
What?
Okay.
I know. Time flies.
No.
I apologize for anybody who didn't get their questions answered. Skate. I'm not going to say the last part of your name, but one of the guys' name in here just asked us, missed this lesson. Is this going to be on YouTube? It will be on YouTube on Wednesday, this Wednesday, June 27th, I believe it is. And anybody who wants to win, like I said, I have prizes here that I am giving away: stick bag, drum rudiment system, membership, a lesson, private lesson with these two, maybe? No?
Maybe.
Unfortunately,
Give us a call.
Give us a call, yeah. Sure. But we are going to give away that stuff, and that's all it is I'm going to be choosing people who've commented on the YouTube video, and it'll be at random. So make sure you get your comments, and when it's posted, and then July 2nd, which is the next Monday lesson, is when I'm going to give those away. Okay? And I'm definitely going to get you guys in again on another lesson because I keep refreshing this, and I get 10, 12, 15 new messages every time I do it with their questions for you.
Don't hit refresh.
I'm not going to hit refresh anymore. Thanks everybody so much for coming out. Jerry, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, man.
Dennis, I will come by and high five.
High five, buddy.
There you go. Thanks again.
Thank you.